Harry, if only there were a way to measure the level of uncertainty that people feel.
It turns out there is a way. Okay, Trade Policy Uncertainty Index. Get this, compare now to last year at this time. The Trade Policy Uncertainty Index, through the roof, up 846%.
Nobody seems to know what this administration is doing. I think the more I talk to Republicans, the more I realize that you still think Trump's doing what he said he was going to do. And so you guys say things consistently like, we voted for this. But almost everything he's done so far, we were like, he's going to do this. It's part of Project 2025. And you're like, no, he's not. And now that he's doing it, you're like, told you. I feel like we told you. I feel far more validated and vindicated for the claims I made about Donald Trump since he's been president than you guys should. Because I spent years talking about Project 2025 and arguing with you guys that he wasn't going to do it. And if he did, that you would turn on him. But instead of turning on him, you're just like, we voted for this.
I got to admit, while you were reading that back, I was confused, and I'm supposed to know this stuff. And you know what, Johnny B? The voters, they are confused too. Trump, a clear plan for tariffs and trade. The majority answer here is no. Donald Trump does not have a clear plan for tariffs and trade. This is the one thing that perturbs voters and the markets more than anything else. It's not whether or not you put tariffs on or not. It's whether you are going to actually do it and stick to your guns. The American public does not believe that Donald Trump sticks to his guns. 55% say no, he does not have a clear plan for trades and tariffs. And I will note, of course, the center of the electorate, the all-important independent vote, 64% of independents say no. Donald Trump does not have a clear plan for trade and tariffs. And I will note that this no number has been creeping up, according to CBS News YouGov. So as Donald Trump's president,
I had too much faith in Republicans. I thought that when Project 2025 started rolling out, that they would be like, fuck, he got us. But you were right. They would just go along with it.
Since you go on, the American people think he's becoming less clear over time.
Harry, if only there were a way to measure the level of uncertainty that people feel.
Yeah, if only there were a way. It turns out there is a way. Okay, Trade Policy Uncertainty Index. Get this, compare now to last year at this time. The Trade Policy Uncertainty Index, through the roof, up 846% versus a year.
It's called a negotiation. A boy like you would never understand. Well, come explain it to me, Dwayne. Come explain to me what the negotiation is accomplishing.
They have been looking at this index going all the way back. You go all the way back to 1960. It is higher now than in any month prior to 2025. We just are consistently breaking records this year, whereby it seems
this guy, Mike, only Democrats, and it's not even a debate, were polled. That's the mind of a MAGA right there. I do not like the information I am being presented, and therefore it was only Democrats, and they are dumb. End of story, period. That's your head. That's what happened inside of your head just barely as you wrote that comment. Just close your eyes and pretend it's not happening.
The further along we go, the more uncertainty there is in terms of the trade policy in this country. So the voters are thinking one thing, and the reason that they are thinking one thing, that is that Donald Trump does not have a clear plan for trade and tariffs, is because, simply put, it doesn't seem, at least according to this metric, that he does. So everything is kind of matching up here, whereby the voters are agreeing with what the anecdotes are saying, which is what the actual policy is. That is, there is tremendous uncertainty.
846% is usually outside the margin of error. Just saying.
Just a little bit.
All right. So I mentioned that the president backed off his most recent threat of 50% tariffs on the EU.
He backed off of every threat of tariffs he's made so far. The classic negotiating tactic. I'm going to tariff you. We're going to tariff you back. Fuck. Never mind. And then Mag is like, this guy's unbelievable. Did you see that? You see how he threatened them and they threatened him back and then he just backed down? And like in the 3 weeks it took for him to back down, the stock market also crashed. This guy's unfucking believable. It's unbelievable how good of a negotiator he is. We don't have any trade deals. We don't. We had Mexico and Canada. He's like, tariffs. They're like, tariffs. He's like, fuck. They're like, yeah. And now we don't have tariffs. We just still have the same trade deal we had before.
Frankly, I've lost track of where he is on the tariffs he threatened on Apple.
Yeah.
But picking on Apple and the EU, which he did in one single day last week, it was Friday. What's special about those particular targets?
Yeah, I think the thing that's going on here is that Donald Trump is picking on folks who are very important.
Classic art of the deal.
American economy. What are we talking about? Well, what is number one in America? What's the number one smartphone in America? It is the iPhone. 155 million active units alone. It's the number one smartphone in America. How about what's the number one trade partner to the United States of America? It's the European Union. 4.9% of U.S. GDP in 2024 is because of the trade with the European Union. So when Donald Trump is threatening these two companies, Apple, and then, of course, not the European Union is not a company, but these two entities, what's essentially going on is he is threatening the U.S. economy. And that is why we've seen the markets do a little bit of this.
Ooh. Going. All right, good. That made coming in today worthwhile. Harry Etten, thank you very much for all of that.
All right. Yeah. Nobody knows. I appreciate the MAGA here. Like the crazy thing about defending Donald Trump right now is that you actually don't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what literally nobody knows what he's doing. You're just defending it because you like him and you're wishing for the best. And I can appreciate that, but I wish you would just be honest about it. I wish you would just say, like, I'm just hoping for the best. I'm not ready to give up hope that this guy has some master plan. I think that's an acceptable answer. It's 120, 130 days. I think it's an acceptable answer to say, like, I'm still waiting and seeing. I can accept that answer. But to come in here and be like, oh, you just don't understand what he's doing. Yeah, neither the fuck do you, though, right? Like, nobody understands what he's doing. You just think he's a genius for it.